Welcome to Grow Your Strength. This is the second week through of this routine, and we'll start with some breathing in the face up position. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, just prior to this session, I did a sound check and everything seemed fine. And then technology, sometimes it's fine and then it's not. But I'll tell you something else is I was really looking forward to this class because I feel like my body's going to benefit a lot from it. So I hope you feel the same way. Just take some time to adjust your posture. Chin tuck, perhaps down into the low back and hips. Relaxing your body with every exhale, just that little bit more. Try to get the breath nice and deep into your abdominal cylinder. Nice strong inhale and a long, slow exhale. After your next breath cycle, we'll take it to a sideline position for some rib grabs. If you prefer to have your head supported lightly, then just put a block or a foam pillow, something under your head. If it's comfortable on the floor, then just adjust your knees and feet so they're stacked and the top hip is maybe even rolled forward just a bit. And then we go into some slow rotations. Got my top hand just on the lower edge of my rib cage. And I'm just going to roll forward and roll away from this down arm, trying to get some rotation through my upper back and neck. Not to be rushed, just taking a little time to rotate, see how far you can go comfortably. You could always hold the open position for a breath cycle. I to suggest we do around 5 of these, just rolling forward and then rolling away, keeping the knees and feet stacked together so you don't roll up to your low back. And then take the top arm and just slowly start to sweep around. I'm watching my fingertips as I bring my arm around. A couple of slow circles in each direction, just letting the weight of your arm help to open the shoulder, not moving through any pain, making the circle smaller if there's any sensitive areas. Great job. After your circles, we'll just switch sides. Again, stacking the knees and feet, supporting the head, arm over the rib cage, into some rotations. Just trying to loosen up postural, shoulders, neck. Prepare for training. Holding it open for a breath. When you're ready, the circles on this side. Moving the weight of the arm to open it up. Not going too fast. This one always feels so good. Okay, we do really have to move on now. You do it a lot longer. Cat cow. Coming to the all fours position, just take your hands and knees a little wider so you've got room to move through your spine from your low back right up through the neck. So just taking some time to gently move through each section as I start to round up again into flexion. I'm just going slow, thinking about my low back, my mid back, between my shoulder blades, and then letting my head be heavy. Going into extension, I can drop my front side down, dropping my chest towards the floor, pulling my shoulders away from my ears and maybe my shoulder blades together as I look up. Not pushing extremes, but just feeling it out. Let's go through one more cycle. Good stuff. Give your wrists a little shake out and set yourself. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. I'm gently tucking my toes and I'm going to go into some hip circles. So I'm connecting my hands to the floor, center my shoulders, and I'm taking one knee off, trying not to weight shift over to my non-moving side. I'm keeping this movement through my hip, not letting my back go into a big arch. And this is a core exercise as well. If you pay attention to those details and continue to do some deep breathing, just mobilizing the hip, better improved hip mobility, benefit us in all sorts of ways, including our balance and squatting, hip hinging, lots of benefits from optimal hip mobility. Going slow is the key though, because you can access your full range slow. If you go too fast, you're not just going to get into the degrees of range that you currently own. And I'm working hard here. You can tell by the change in my voice, and I think I let my head drop a bit. Uh-oh. Okay. That happens to me too, you know. Okay, shake out the wrists. We'll do bear hold and a plank hold. Try to get some movement through your feet. So for the bear hold, neutral back, tuck the toes. Here's my hold, and here's a little rocking through my feet. Weight shifting forward, using my fingers, not holding my breath. This time I'm conscious of my head. Nice connected shoulders. 3 to 5 rocks. Take a moment. I'm going to turn my palms up and try and give my wrists a gentle stretch. I'll be off the wrists after this next one, which is a plank. So stepping back into a high arm plank when you're ready. Now your option is to hold or rock through the feet in the high arm plank. Trying to get some bend in all my toes as I rock forward and then push away from my hands, stretching through my calves, back of my knees, wherever you might feel some tension. Challenge yourself to hold the plank and do a few rocks. And then coming out of that, we're going to go into our knee bends and ankle mobility series. So I like to use this strap that has a loop, but if you just have something like this kind of strap, you could use this kind of strap for its same purpose. So lining up my posture, including my non-working leg, extend it out. If that doesn't feel good on the back, it's okay to bend the knee. To at least try to do some of this work in time with their non-working leg straight and adjust your back so that it feels okay. Now here's my knee hug, and then fully extending the leg to a place where I can get length to the tissues at the back of the leg. Maybe I have to back it off. About 5 of these moves, just holding the leg straight, making sure that the back of the knee is not locked or bent. Just a softness there, soft lock, and then start to work the ankle, spread the toes, take some time to find that full range, just like I was explaining with the hip. And then ankle rolls, inversion and eversion, just moving the foot through different angles. And then some slow circles. And before we switch today, I'm going to take us into a cross hip stretch. So I'm guiding the leg that I'm stretching across my body. I'm going to pull my toes down to my shin, and I keep my hip on the ground and just guide the leg into a nice stretch. You can pulse out of it or hold the stretch depending on the intensity. Go back to a couple of slow breath cycles and just feel out that lengthening. Very nice. Okay, switching it up. Do the same thing on the other side. I'm taking the time to warm up the body before we go into some loaded movements. Lots of benefit. Check the posture. Knee hug, and out. Open up the ankle, keeping the leg straight. Back of the knee, soft lock. Open up the toes. Start the point of flex. Finish those off into the ankle rolls. And some slow circles. Now what about the cross hip guided stretch on this side? Pulling my toes down. Trying to find an intensity that I can breathe and manage. It's not too great. I'm not letting my leg go to a place where it's too intense, maybe about a 4 out of 10. I'm just backing that off. Maybe I'll do one more and just hold the breath. Or not hold the breath. Hold the leg for a breath cycle. I've been trying to count I call them tacos, when I make them, like a typo when you're talking. How many tacos does she get in a class? Okay, roller, overhead, single arm with the rollers. Let's work on the shoulder a little bit. My hips are sitting back. I take the roller. If you don't have a roller, you can just do this with your arm on the floor. And you push the hips back and extend the fingertips away. I'm sort of sinking my armpit to the floor, maintaining breath, not holding your breath. Go through about 3 resets of that. And switching sides. Back, arm forward. And I call this one thread the needle. And take the roller to the side. Take the arm between the knee and the hand. Rotate. And we'll do 3 resets here too. So as I rotate and gently turn my head, I'm getting a good stretch to the back side of both my shoulders actually, but depends on where you feel that tension. Go ahead, switch sides. Good, everyone. And just taking that little bit of time Okay, so one more before we get to standing, which is the half kneeling hinge and rock, and I'm doing 2 resets per side. So you start in half kneeling, walk your front foot out, and pivot the back foot so that you've got some space to come down to your hand of your down knee side. So it's a hinge, right? It's got to have your hand far enough out that you can rock and sit into your hips, and then rock the weight back over through your hand. Now, when you're in this position, you don't want to be in a shrug. So it's sort of a centered shoulder. You can gently turn your head and look down and look up. And if you feel like that's tough, then do anti-shrug. Pull your armpits away from your ears. Give yourself a nice deep hip stretch. Take a breath in and just come up. So that would be like one. I'll do 2 resets on this side. So making sure that you have the front foot open and the back foot pivoted gives you space to hinge over to that hand. I've really spread my fingers of this down hand. My back is relatively straight. I'm not in a side bend. I don't feel like a pretzel. Just sitting to where your body will let you go. And then hang out over your hand again, anti-shrug those shoulders. And just gently turn the head. Some neck mobility. Everything's connected. Don't like moving through the neck too fast, sitting into the hips and coming up. Okay? And we'll switch sides. Kneeling, wider, back foot pivoted. Like a little different on this side. Who knows? Sitting into the hip. I often have one side that functions a little differently. Here's the neck mobility. And coming back up. One more. As you come forward, you're getting a little load into your shoulders. So this is strength training, right? Because we're loading the shoulder, different angle. Nice. Okay, so we come to standing after this. And we're going to start with the lateral shifts. So some balance shifts, left to right. Just taking some time to set up this space. Got these textured mats that I really like to work on. So I just opened my feet. This is a Naboso mat. And anybody is interested in checking out Naboso online, they've got a lot of textured products for the feet for exercising on. So now open the toes. Think about what's happening as you go side to side. A lot through the ankle, knee, and hip, right? This is knee stability. So starting to take a little bit longer time. And then for about 30 seconds, we'll work on the single leg balance. So for single leg, opening up my toes, roll my ankle and really get my foot set. And then taking the back toe off if you can, and just breathing in this position. If you find that you're needing to tap down, that's totally fine, just do. And for the add-on today, we'll try some really little knee bends. So just 1 inch, just body weight coming into a single leg knee bend. If that task makes the balance harder, then that's good, because this is a task, variation. And there we go. Okay, so now we're going to switch feet. So connect your foot, open the toes, weight shift into that foot. And then when you're ready, you can try to take the back toe off. You could do this with your back toe just tracking. So if you hadn't practiced your balance that much, and this was very challenging, just going up and down with the knee and taking the foot off if you can, but keeping it this threaded there is a way that you could adapt this. Excellent. Now I'm just going to take us back to side, but doing this, I'd like you to blink or close your eyes. So just as you come onto that one side. I'm closing my eyes. I'm actually trying to keep them closed as I go side to side. But if that's a little unnerving, then just blink and then open as you transfer. We'll go for the next 15 seconds. Now this is a different task, taking the visual away. Just finishing that off in the next 5 seconds. And I take us right into some reverse lunges with load. So this is where you might consider grabbing some dumbbells, reverse lunge, stepping back, getting control of your balance, dropping the back knee a little or a lot, and stepping back to posture. As you step back, you want that control. You can drop straight down, or you could pitch forward a little bit if that felt okay on your knee. Just want to make sure that what you do isn't hurting you in any way. About 6 per side is a suggestion for reps, owning the weights through the upper body. There you go. As I step back, you can see that my front knee is tracking right over the middle of my foot. It's not wandering in or out. Switching sides. Next up, we have our knees and squeeze. So this is keeping dumbbells, coming into a bent over position. You roll the elbows to the sides, squeeze the shoulder blades together, then straighten the arms and stand up in a hip hinge. So it's 2 moves. Row, straighten the arms, get the posture, activate the hips a little. As you row, you want to finish the elbows at the sides. And the cue is squeezing the shoulder blades together, like you're pinching them together towards your spine, the middle. Depending on how this feels and the weight that you're using for your row, I'm going to say 6 to 10 repetitions. How much you bend over into a hip hinge gives you that angle through your back, and then stand up. So if you just bend a little, it's kind of hard to get the row. So get those hips back, row, stand up tall. Okay. After that set, we're going to put the weights down for a moment and go into a body weight squat to just open up the hips. Then we'll add load. So find the foot print that works for you. You can go and experiment with going wider. Toes can be straight or slightly turned out. And I'm going to say that I like variation, so sometimes I'll a little narrower. You feel like you can get down into your hips without changing the position of your back when your feet are wider. You're not rounding your back as you come down. Safety for the back. What's the other thing? Let's pry a little bit. So come down, press out with your hands. Can you give yourself a little space creation by pushing out gently, sitting the hips a little deeper? Take a breath in and come out of that. Let's do one more. This time I'll shift my weight side to side a few times, just with the goal of finding center between my body and my feet and coming up out of it. Okay, shake out the legs, water break if you need it, and then we're into loaded squats. The rep range is going to be up to 10. Ooh, that's a lot. So grabbing a weight that you think will work for 10 squats. If the weight or the rep range isn't working for you, then be your own kind of trainer and try and modify so that you get a feeling of adaptation. Not too easy, not too hard. I'm breathing in as I lower, exhale as I come up. Looking good. Not going too fast. Loading it up. Felt nice and even. We'll go back through the reverse lunge next. So how did the weights feel for the 6 lunges that you did? I like the weights I'm working with. Connect with my feet, step back, kind of bend and dig into my toes a little, drop down. There we go. Upright posture, looking straight ahead. Sometimes in my classes, people do the training in bare feet and they get really used to it and they have built up stronger feet by doing so. But if you have any foot or ankle knee issues that require you to have a little bit more support and they give you that control, more control that you might be looking for, you should wear shoes. Some people are wearing shoes with orthotics and everybody's all over the map with that. But I will say that trying to do some work in bare feet does have a carryover benefit. Okay, here's my hinge, row, and stand up. The hip hinge is sliding the hands down the thighs. That's your classic hip hinge, right? Now you've got the row, staying out of the neck, standing up into posture. The better the hinge, the more angle you have. You should not be feeling this in your back. Take some time, 6 to 10 reps. Not giving us much of a break with this class. Now we're going to have a quick break because I need some water, and then we'll go into the squats weighted. Okay, up to 10 squats. Connect my feet. Modify if you need to. There we go, breathing in as you pull yourself down. Back is steady, stand tall. Wonderful. Okay, I'm taking us back to the floor. We've got double bridges and single leg bridges. So, depending on where you're at in this practice, know the double bridge and get right into it. If you're new to this, go over a little bit of technique. 5 doubles and up to 10 singles, please. Lying onto your back, adjusting posture, both feet are connected. So posture, chin tuck, not jamming the back flat, but just bringing it down so that the curve is there in the low back, but you feel the muscles activated through the torso. As you lift your hips, this is called hip extension. You get a nice line, middle of the knee, middle of the hip, armpit. So not too low and not higher than this where you would be into your back, putting stress on your back. Okay, a little harder would be hands off the floor, but I'm still anchored in to my shoulders, coming up, finding back connection and coming down. Now for the single leg, taking a foot off the floor, you can just hover the knee over the hip. I often show this version where I'm just lightly hanging on across my rib cage and behind my thigh so that I can sense that hip extension and know that I'm not going too high. I would feel the rib cage arch up and keeping the leg over the hip makes all the work come from right here. Resetting posture if you need to with every rep, up to 10 single leg bridges per side. think that was quite tense, but it's okay. Just work quality reps, time under tension. Get some more load through your hip. Next up, we have the get up to high bridge, holding for a count of 3 1,000. Now, last week I showed the first get up without weight, and then I did weight. I'm going to do both with weight. So I'm going to take a 10-pound dumbbell and picking up the dumbbell from the side, the same side that has the weight, that the knee is bent. The opposite side, arm and leg, are out on an angle. Adjusting my posture and making sure I don't have a big arch in my back. Take a breath in, then roll to my elbow. Then I come up to my hand, spread my fingers, and make sure my hand is in a place that I can lift up my hips. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Slowly coming down to the hip, to the elbow, and rolling away. No shrugging. Taking the weight around my head, changing hands, same arm up as knee that's bent, adjusting the back, taking some time, roll to the elbow, flatten the hand and come up and adjust to a place where you can keep the weight, take the weight between your hand and your foot. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Nice and slow down. Pull yourself back down to the floor. Okay, so whether you do that body weight or with load 1 or 2 times, this is the start of the get up or the Turkish get up. From here, we're going to push-ups. Push-ups on the floor or on the wall. What is your push-up variation? Are you doing it from the floor, establishing the plank, maybe some lowers, coming up onto the knees, perhaps a little mini, test the waters. So many variations. I've showed before putting pillows underneath your torso on the floor to sort of soften the landing, going to a wall. Wherever you are at, you're kind of like, I'm the boss. I've got this. I can pull myself down, push away, working the shoulder blades together, and then apart. So we always want to be thinking about integrating the shoulder complex with our push-ups. Half kneeling press from the down knee side. Coming back to the half kneeling position. Don't let me rush you on your push-ups. Just go ahead and finish your set. But I'm going to take a weight to the shoulder of the down knee side. In half kneeling, the wider your front foot is, the more base of support you have. So it's a little easier to balance. I just tucked my back toe lightly. And now I'm working on aligning my posture so that when I press up, my weight is right over my hips. Press up and pull back down. I'm trying to not elevate and shrug into my neck. In fact, my shoulder blade, I'm sort of sensing, is going down into my back pocket if I was wearing jeans. Using the muscles up and controlling with everything I can on the lower. How many, Sheila? Well, what's your weight? What's your tolerance overhead? This is something that we really have to work on getting stronger. Most people, are stronger in their lower body than their upper body. So you kind of know the rep range based on how challenging that is. You don't want to do that extra rep that shrugs you into your neck, tweaks your neck or something like that, because these are sensitive areas for sure. Good. Looking straight ahead. There we go. So let's go back through this set. We'll go to the double bridges and then single leg. An option for double bridges could be to put a loop band on. And this will create a little bit more tension the outsides of the hip. These resistance bands are pretty handy for adding just that little bit of extra work. So I come up, I can press out into the band, come back to neutral, come back down, making sure I'm keeping my posture up, out, back to neutral and down. Got a little sweat going on doing these. How about you? Okay, now if you're going to stick with double bridges, you can just stick with double bridges, or the option to take the band off and get into that single leg, gifting the hips the single leg movement. Count your reps up to 10, match on the other side. You can see that I'm not going too fast. I'm not using momentum. Lots of connection, chin, low back, all hip driven. Need a little break. Take a break. If it feels crampy, kick your leg up in the air. You can flex your ankle a bit. Here we go. Second side. Seven. Excellent. Into our get up to the high bridge. I like the weight that I chose. And do a body weight until you feel confident in the way the move works. You probably don't want to do anything but a fist or a ball. Okay, so align posture, arm and leg out on an angle, which you will determine over practice exactly that angle. I've done so many of these that it just works. I know where my elbow needs to be. And then up to the hand. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Come down, slow, then to the elbow, pulling yourself back down to the floor. Nice work. You can do 1 or 2 on each side. I'm going to switch over because I'm going a little slower and working out the cueing. One 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Never take the weight across your face. That's bad. Knocking out teeth. Expensive. Haven't done it. Knock wood. Okay. All right. Push-ups. And then 1 more of the presses. And we've got our last set to get through. Push-ups. You know the number. You know where you are in the practice. Okay. Set the posture. Activate the hips a little. What's the mental dialogue saying? 3. Can I do 5? Shake out the wrists. Can I do 1 or 2 more after a less than 20-second break? The body kind of feels like it's the same set. So go into it again. Nice work. Going into your half kneeling press. Down knee side, tucking the back toe. Open. Oh, looking straight ahead. Trying to keep my hips tucked under so I'm not going up and bending back or to the side. I'm sort of rotating my palm forward as I come up. So many different variations. You don't have to. If it feels easier to keep your palm facing in, you could. And I would say that you have control of the weight. If you can change the angles, and in that case you should. So your shoulder doesn't just get strong in one particular plane or angle. Make sure that you feel that you're in charge of the weight before you start playing with the angles. Palm in, and then I rotate open. Excellent. Okay, so for our last set, we're going to start with hip hinges or deadlifts, and depending on what you have available to you, I'll demonstrate actually with the dumbbells first and then a kettlebell. If you've been following along in my classes, this is not new to you. Taking some time though, if you are new, to make sure this feels okay. Similar to when we did the row, this is the hinge. I take a breath in as I hinge back with this dumbbell version. And when you stand up, because if you have control of the dumbbells, you can add a little external rotation of the shoulders at the top. That's a nice add. Now, it depends on, your goals, where you are in your fitness practice. You can certainly go a lot heavier, and you could have one kettlebell, two kettlebells. There's dumbbells that go a lot heavier. The same principle. I'm lifting from the floor though, setting my back and breath on the floor, breathing in, lifting, rebreathing, keeping a little intra-abdominal connection, and slowly lowering down. So deadlifts, these deadlifts are not maximal, so we can play with the weights. The rep range can be higher because we're not trying to set any records yet. Lateral fly. Okay, so now I'm taking some weights that I know I can work my shoulders with. Elbows come out to the sides. Couple things to be mindful of though when you're standing in this position. Do you go into a hyperextended block, right? So none of this. Soft knees. Open up the shoulders. Work the up phase. Work the down. Good. As you come up, be mindful you're not shrugging up. These are 3-pound dumbbells. I feel like 10 to 15 reps would be where I am at with 3-pound dumbbells. But if I was to have done this with the 8-pound dumbbells, I probably would only get in maybe 5 repetitions, right? So you've got to listen to your body, your shoulders. What did you do yesterday? That kind of thing. Okay, so we'll go back through these 2 again. So deadlift and lateral fly. And I'll stick with this kettlebell. Weight over the bell. If it felt too low, you could elevate it on some books or box. A lot of people lifting off of a little footstool because you want to be safe. And safe means that you're not in a rounded position. You're not putting stress through your back. This is hip driven. So hips back, back is neutral. Take the breath in, stand tall. Use your hips as the lever for moving this load. That looks great. This week I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and I don't know, it's just been one of those weeks, and go grab the lighter weights. And last night I signed up for a live webinar put on by 2 experts in fat loss. And I found that quite interesting. It took about an hour of listening. And because I feel like I'm always suggesting that we should be eating protein, and people say, how much protein? And do you supplement with protein powder? Do you eat animal products? I mean, there's just so many things. But anyway, long and the short of it is that for our metabolic health and for optimal body composition, we do need to have adequate amounts of protein. And as we age, our muscles, we lose muscle mass. Okay, that's a known factor. So the importance of eating protein as we age becomes even more important. There's a lot of different resources on how much protein to eat. But if you start by just doing a quick check, just of the big protein sources that you eat throughout the day, and see if you're anywhere close to 100 grams of protein, or 75 to 100. Some sources say 100 to 125. Some say a gram of protein for every pound that you want to weigh. So that could be if you want to lose weight, what your optimal weight would be, or if you want to gain weight, what your optimal weight would be. Can you see how confusing that is for me as a fitness professional to tell you what to eat? But I will say if you base 25 to 30 grams, so 3 meals a day person, then you're at that, 75 to 90. And that would be a good place to try and work around for a month or so, 6 weeks, and see if you notice any difference in your body composition. Because right now, after resistance training is when your body is looking for the components of protein to build. So make sure you incorporate something like that into your lunch or a snack within an hour or two after training. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.